It is Sam's Sermons of Ryan Cameron Uncensored and Sunday Sermons right here on Majic 107.5, 97.5, the real sound of Atlanta. I have the honor and privilege of speaking to second generation greatness that is writing her own page and writing her own narrative. Miss Zonnique, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful, and I'm grateful you had the chance to stop by the station, and we got to talk about this new EP that just dropped.
Let's
I mean,
talk about it.
we top 5 on iTunes already, you
Come
know.
on,
we
come on,
we
don't
doing what we're
play.
supposed to do.
Yeah,
So
you see?
we're at this all grown up stage in your life, and the EP is titled "The Breakup." You don't have it yet. What are you doing? Make sure you get that done. But walk us through how you are back recording after 5 years off. It's like you took a nice little step away, and
Definitely did.
what are we doing now?
Well, now definitely just put out my project, A Breakup, as you said. I would say that in the 5 years that I took off, I definitely still recorded a lot of music. Really a lot of music that didn't go on this project at all. A lot of music that we was just like, oh, it's perfect timing type situation, just waiting on a perfect time to, get it right and put it out. And I kind of got tired of it myself, and I'm just like, let me kind of find some people that I can create something with really quick. That's how the breakup even started.
Okay.
And and then I was going through a breakup, so it all came together.
So art definitely imitated life, and that's where you get the best inspiration from, if I'm not mistaken. So coming from a musical background where the pen in the household is nice from both mom and dad, but also in hearing your record All Grown Up and just really sensing that it wasn't just like, oh, let me put something out. Like, you really labored into that record. So what are you trying to make sure you carve your own lane out? Because we already know who mom and dad are. They, career cemented. But as someone that's been in the industry, started with the OMG Girls and had a huge buzz then, but now making sure I'm a solo artist, I'm going to write, I'm going to do my own thing. How are you forging yourself in a unique lane that maybe no one's seen you in before?
You know what? I'm pretty much just taking it day by day and trying to figure out exactly the lane and how I want it to be. I feel like people have seen me grow from, 12, Tiny Toy, T.I. and Tiny, and OMG, people have seen me grow. So I like to just kind of roll with the punches and see where the involvement of my career, myself, me growing, where it kind of takes me. I guess I haven't really figured out exactly what it is. It's like I'm just figuring it out as I go.
So it's a new chapter in your life and new development, but you also, adding a new title to yourself, including mom.
Yes.
So how is that transition being? Because, of course, I don't have kids. I'm a great godparent. I'm a great uncle. I'm going to be there and give them right back.
I heard
but,
that.
but, when it's yours, when it's like something that, you've grown with, and now you're nurturing and you're making sure they're the best child they can be, how is that affecting you personally, but also as, a musician and an artist?
I feel like just being a mom has affected me in so many ways. Definitely with the personal side, I would say just even me saying I'm just kind of rolling with the punches. I feel like before I had a kid, I used to plan or try to have this plan or this image of what it should be, or even with motherhood, I'm just like, oh, I don't want to be a mom, and when I do have a kid, I'm going to be like the X, Y, and Z. And being a mom taught me that it's never what you expect. It's kind of like, being a mom motherhood was not what I expected. But it has changed my career, ways that I do things in my career, because now I don't have all the time just to focus on my music. And I feel like before I had a kid, I was more lenient. I can cancel studio and go another day, go hang out with my friends today. And now it's just like, no, if I got the time, I'm going to go get the work done. And it's just changed me in so many ways. I'm way more disciplined, and my whole thought process is way more mature than it was.
Do you feel like being a mom has made you more intentional in taking your career where you have already?
Absolutely. I feel like just, not having the time anymore, noticing. I feel like before, without a kid, I really didn't even think about time. And now I'm just like, oh, I feel like I'm always running out of time. I'm like, well, I gotta, because I'm always wanting to be with my child, pretty much. You want to spend time with them, but also you have your own life to live. So it can be a hard balance.
Understood. So I'm gonna go back to 12-year-old, 13-year-old Zonnique, and she's got the girl group going, And of course, everyone knows who mom is. Everyone knows whose dad is. But, okay, this is your first intro into the music industry. What did you learn then, early on, from the ground level to where you are now, able to be a whole top 5 iTunes selling artist? That you're like, we're gonna keep, we're gonna keep running that back, because folks need to know that this is not a game. Zonnique is about this business, and the project is clearly loved. So you just need to give it a program. But what have you learned or taken from that first intro into the industry into what you're doing right this second?
There are so many things I feel like that I take from from the beginning. I'm trying to think. I just had so many I was thinking of when you just actually said that. First, work ethic, extremely important. I feel like from the beginning, my mom was always like, we used to call her like the Joe Jackson. And then I didn't get it. I'm just like, okay, rehearsal every day, like that's crazy. Workout every day, like that's crazy. But, we used to be running up the hill, singing. I'm just like, it felt insane as a 12-year-old. But now I'm just like, I take that into my career now. I'm just like, I need to be doing that. We need to get a workout schedule. We need to get, because it all matters. And what else was I going to say that I take in? My mom's position. I feel like from the beginning, like it was hard to work with my mom at first. Like just kind of separating the relationship between like business and our actual mom and daughter relationship. But now, and I used to be like, I kind of want to like push away from my mom, do things on my own, which I'm still like that. But I now, I'm grateful for having her, because I look to her for everything. Like when I make a song, if I like it, I'm like, this is good to me, but my mom got to stamp it. Like, we send it to her, and if she like it, then it's a hit. But if she say like, then it's probably not as good as I thought.
All right, so I definitely want to touch on 2 different things you brought up. So in regards to mom just literally having I'm talking probably a closet full of just awards and songwriting credits that, all of us grew up with. With that background and that in your DNA, did you ever feel like the pressure, like, oh, I know I got to be a songwriter too, or just like, hey, I can perform. I may just want to focus on the entertainment aspect. And then the second part is her being like a momager. And there's a lot in the industry that, the kids just don't even want to deal with them after, the entertainment part stops. For you, and understanding now you being a mom and maybe your child wants to eventually get in the industry, do you kind of understand where she came from and how she was kind of putting her hands on a few things differently than you may have wanted to?
Absolutely. I understand a lot of things now that I am a mom. I was going to say first with the pressure thing, I don't think that it's ever been like a pressure that I put on myself, or even that like my family members like, oh, you have to be this. But I feel like when I chose to actually sing, I think the world like puts a weird pressure on me, like, oh, it has to be top notch, like it can't be mediocre at all, because you have greats, so it must be great, or it's just like, what is it? And then wait, what did you say about
mom being the mom was being a momager and kind of understanding, do you get where she was coming from now as a mom?
Yeah. Okay. So back then I used to feel like, oh, it's just too much, or like my mom's going too hard, or she's kind of pushing it. And now, like, even when I watch her do like how she does with Eris, like make sure she's in voice lessons and she's doing all these things, I'm like, it makes sense. Like when you see that your child has potential, like, or talent, I feel like as a parent, it's okay to kind of push your child a little bit, or let me put you in this, so you can expand it and grow in that craft, so that if you want to actually pursue it, you're good and you've been learning since you was a child, and it's just like second nature type thing. So now I appreciate that she pushed me and was on top of everything when I was young.
Got you. And because you mentioned it, how mom was like Joe Jackson, you really got to look at the family tree and understand that's not a far reach, because it seems like every one of y'all got a booming music career. And it's not a lot of families can say that. It'll be like one, somebody's a manager, someone like, but no, all of y'all individually have great projects, doing tours, doing EPs, the whole nine. I want to know, is there any collaborations with a sibling that's coming soon? Or have you gotten in the studio with any of your talented brothers? And even Harris, she's on the way.
Right.
So
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
She really is. I haven't lately. I've done a song with the money before. I actually did a song on one of Messiah's beats because before Messiah was an artist, he just was like making beats. And so I've done previous things with them, but I haven't done anything recent. But we always talk about it. Like every time we have a group message, family group message, where we all put like, oh, this is what I'm doing, or send like a song that they did. And everyone's always like, okay, when we get in the studio, this and that. But it just, with family, it's just like, oh, whenever. Everybody kind of puts it to the side. But I think it'll be happening soon.
I'm looking forward to that because I think Atlanta in particular needs that. I'm just going to put that in the atmosphere.
We'll make sure it happens.
Yes, that's what we need. So, again, we got the Breakup EP on iTunes right now. If you haven't gotten it yet, what are you waiting for? I mean, it's top 5 for a reason. It's and climbing at that. So, we're going to number 1 by the end of this interview. How about that?
Love it.
And just let them know how they can reach you.
Yes, you can reach me on my Instagram. I feel like it's always Instagram. Zonnique J. Lee, or my Twitter is just Zonnique. And go get that album. Well, I'm sorry, go get that EP streaming on all platforms.